Hi, we're team number 4 and we're formed by Andrea Patiño, Andrea Cobian, Linda Meneses and Mariana Soto. And this is practice number 5, plastic injection.
Know the operation and main characteristics of the plastic injection machine.
Carry out the injection of plastic with the corresponding adjustment of the injection parameters.
Calibrate and molding the plastic injection machine.
See me as your enemy, or see me as your friend. It is 19 months since I was there and held you in my hand. It is 18 since I told you, and you took away my name. Now when you saw me, you turned away your head. You won't forgive me, and I will understand.
Experimental process. The plastic injection molding process produces large numbers of parts in a very few time, and it gives a lot of quality to the product. Plastic material in the form of granules is melted until it's soft enough to be injected under pressure to fill a mold. The result is that the shape is exactly copied. Once the plastic molding has cooled sufficiently, the injection mold opens, releasing the part. Now, the injection molding is made of 4 steps. The step number 1 is the close mold. In this part, the injection molding machine holds the mold tool together under pressure. Then the step 2 is the injected molten plastic. Here the pellets that are now melted are injected under pressure into the mold, and on step number 3 we keep the mold closed. After the molten plastic has been injected into the mold, pressure is applied to ensure all the cavities are filled, and then the plastic parts are allowed to solidify in the mold. This is called cooling. And finally, we open the mold and eject the part. At the CIMA, we did this shape, and the conclusion of this shape is that our shape is completely filled, so we don't have any missing part. We have all the piece complete, and it has few remaining pieces of plastic. For example, here, I don't know if you could see it. Here we could see that there is a plastic here that is it doesn't have to be here, and then it doesn't have marks or any hole. The piece is perfectly well made, and then we could see that it doesn't have any burn. We could see the yellow color perfectly well.
Remove the emergency stop to turn on the machine, follow the safety steps for the injection trolley, and ensure that the temperature is adequate, 180 degrees, and the material is ready for later injections.
Number 1, we need pressure, hydraulic or plastic, depending on the machine type. Number 2, we need stroke or screw position, including 0 stroke. Number 3, we need temperature. Number 4, the oil temperature, if it's an hydraulic machine. Number 5, the mold temperature. Number 6, the mold temperature controller, gallons per minute, GPM. If you do not relate the GPM to coolant channels. And number 7
In the
is
process, we use polypropylene and master batch. Polypropylene is a thermoplastic that is obtained by the polymerization of propylene, and its characteristics are low cost, low weight, versatile, can be recycled, presents resistant and transparency properties, and avoid the passage of moisture. It is mainly used in toys, clothing, bags, synthetic grasses, containers, etc. And also we use master batch as a system of coloration and additivation of polymers.
The defect that we saw during this practice was that the melted pellet doesn't fill the mold completely. And when this happened, it sometimes got pieces that were thinner, and this made the product more fragile. Injection machine. First we put the pellets in the tube, and then they go through the heater that it starts melting the pellets, and then the melted pellets go into the nose, and then they start injecting into the mold. Then the molded mold comes closer to the mold and the injection begins. After a while, the mobile mold moves and we can take out the product. Injection mold. The conventional two-plate mold consists of two halves fastened to the two platens of the molding machine clamping unit. When the clamping unit is open, the two mold halves open as shown in the picture. Molds can contain a single cavity or multiple cavities to produce more than one part in a single shot. The figure shows a mold with two cavities. The parting surface is where the mold opens to remove the parts.
According to Dr. Enrique Cabrero, the General Director of CONACYT, the advanced manufacturing in Mexico is one of the sectors with the greatest potential for growth and greater attractiveness for foreign investment.
Given this scenario, the agency created the Technological Development Program in Advanced Manufacturing, which seeks to raise the levels of purchase of transnational companies and Mexican clients. In a first stage, focusing on the development of capabilities for the manufacture of molds and tooling in Mexico.
So I learned that it is important that at the time we make the mold, we must follow the measures already specified to avoid any problem in injection.
And then, in conclusion, we could say that our practice was a success. And with this practice, we learned that plastic injection molding is an easy process and it doesn't take a lot of time to produce a large number of parts, and it gives us a lot of quality. At the CIMA, first we choose which kind of pellets we were going to use to create our shape or the shape we wanted, and which color, and the teacher explained us the parts of the machine so we know how to identify it, and so we know where the pellets were going into. And then he also taught us how to move the machine with the buttons that it has. We also learned how to apply the mold into the machine and how to adjust it so we don't have any mistakes at the end of the practice. He also teaches us how to move the mold after the process was finished.
In this practice, I learned that we have to know which velocity to put on the mold. If not, our product will have a lot of problems and it's not right for selling.
In this practice, I learned to have the mold as clean as possible because it can affect when the injection starts. So it has to be clean, and also it has to have a special plastic.